guys, just wanted to share how I'm approaching Very Fast Wars, the way I'm building my teams. I'm not saying it's the best way, but I like it. It's fun, and it's actually given me pretty consistent war scores. Um, you can tweak them based on your own rosters, but I think the methodology can be the same essentially. Anyway, so let me show you what I got. I have a slot for every war team, just for all the other war rules, because I always forget what works, based on the teams that I've tested in the past. So I just save them that way. I create one slot. Um, I have this one slot to test new teams, and then I created one for each of the Very Fast War teams that I've been playing with. But anyway, basically what I did was I don't bring any healers because I want to either die or win quickly. I don't like drawn out battles. And so I'm using a 3-1-1 format. 3 being my stack 3 strong color, because you do need some heavy damage to try and win the fight as soon as you can. And then the 1-1 is just to help mitigate the board essentially, and try and get your specials at least 1 to 2 as soon as possible. But the idea is that I'm looking at my roster. I'm isolating or separating all of my special controlling heroes, my mana controlling heroes, that I feel can set me up for the win. And so I actually started with the blank slot, and then I fill in my 1-1 colors for each team. So I would start with an empty slot, and then I start going and looking for my what I'm calling or considering clutch heroes. And then I would fill that slot, and then in this case I'd fill in the second one off. So these two for me are clutch in this team because one, Zoc suppresses the special, and then Onatel obviously holds back their mana, or steals mana, which is huge for this type of war. And then I'll set up my heavy attack, which in this case is purple. And the whole goal for this is and I always try and do elemental down or defense down if you don't have an elemental down, with 2 other heavy damage, as heavy as you can, or you can muster. Panther doesn't need level 30. Okay, so that would be one team, and then the same thing here. Started with an empty slot, so if I know I want to stack blue, I'll leave that at the end, and then I'll fill in my 1-1 spots first. So in this case I have Alfright and Guinevere. Obviously if Alfright goes off, it's almost game over. So her alone is huge. She's just kind of a one female army. And then Guinevere obviously steals the mana, or drops the mana. Again, going for heavy damage. So here you could, I could go with Frida instead of Finley. I think they're both efficient. Though in this case, because I am stacking the blues, I'm actually going to use Frida. The cool thing about Finley is that he works on part of a color stacking or just on his own. You can pair him up with other heavy attacks. And I'll probably do something like that. I like that team. Another cool thing about Very Fast Wars is that we get to use heroes that we don't normally use in wars. So Mickey is one of them. A lot of people forget about him. I know I actually forgot to use him the very first war. But part of his special is that, as you can see here, the target and nearby enemies get silenced for 4 turns. In Very Fast Wars, that is huge. So we definitely want to use him. I'm bringing Black Knight for the taunt in case, you know, you get a red heavy board or just enough to get him going. He can take the blunt of the damage and, you know, still be alive, which buys you enough time to set up the rest of your heroes. The way I would use this team is my priority would be to get either Mickey or Black Knight up first. Ideally, it would be Black Knight, and then I would try and get Mickey up. So, and then I would fire Mickey after Black Knight. So, kind of keep the defense, just hold them back, prevent them from getting any mana, number 1, or number 2, you know, getting any damage on the rest of my heroes. You definitely want to hold the defense back as long as you can. And then from there, I said I don't usually bring healers, but in this case I am using Kunchen because of his defense down. If I pair the defense down with the elemental down, then the damage is significant, enough to probably take out 2 to 3 heroes at the same time. If I can clear one side of the board, 2 to 3 heroes on one turn, once I charge my heavy damage heroes, then it's pretty much over, and that's what I want. Let's see. Oh, last team I was gonna do. Okay, here's the last one. So here again, started with an empty slot, and I bring in my mana controlling heroes. In this case, I'm using Mitsuko, and my other special suppressing. He doesn't really suppress the special. You still get the damage, but at least you don't get any of the peripheral status ailments. And I'm going with snipers because of the elemental down. I'm hoping my goal is to just do one-shot kills after that. And I'm putting my max mana troops on my snipers. Again, don't forget, you gotta fix your troops before you, or when you build your teams, and make sure you have the troops on the right heroes. Anyway, those are 4 of the teams I've played around in the past. I don't know which ones I'll use this war. My first 2 hits, I actually built those teams on the fly. They were really good teams. I like them. Even though they're not exactly the teams that I have here, I still use the same method for building them. No healer, unless it has defense down or has a different primary purpose. And 1 strong color. Always bring in elemental down as much as you can, and heavy damage. And then my 1/1 colors, I want to focus mana control and suppressing special. Anyway, so that's what I'm using. I hope it helps somebody, especially if you're struggling on very fast wars. I can tell you right now that the teams that we use for any of the other war rules do not work. They don't translate well in this war rule. So I would definitely start looking into building a whole set of teams just for very fast war. That's what I got. That's what I'm using. I hope it helps. Good luck. One last thought, or a few caveats to building these teams before I forget. Because we have more elements to work with in your teams, in this case 3 different elements, it's gonna take some tweaking and a lot of playing around, mixing and matching between all of your 6 teams. You have to remember and consider what each of the heroes do and how their specials affect the defense. Because, so for instance, in this case, Hell prevents them from getting any mana, and Onatel actually steals mana. So you kind of have a conflict in there. As long as you know what your limitations are per team, or whether or not some heroes overwrite each other, then you'll be okay if you keep that in mind. But keeping that in mind also will prevent you from using heroes that would otherwise just keep overriding each other, and sometimes not to your benefit. So you always want to go back and really study the specials of each of your heroes, make sure that they're not in conflict. Another reason that I like this team that I didn't mention before is because if I can get enough blues and get my stack 3 color charged, obviously I would fire Frida first, then Master Lepus, and Scatty last. Lepus will pretty much probably kill one, but leave 1 or 2 half dead, which is kind of what I want, because by the time I fire Scatty, she will likely kill the 1 or 2 left, which in turn applies her dot and her mana sink. Excuse me. Her mana sink. That's obviously important to consider, and that's another reason that I picked her in this team over other blues that I have. Here, in some cases, you have the potential of your attacks, your attack boost overriding. Again, just keep that in mind, so you know when you should fire one or in what order. Or maybe, after analyzing your team, you realize, oh, this guy's gonna override, that other hero or whatever. Then you would go back and change it up or fix it. Anyway, I just wanted to say that before I'm done with this quick video. Just keep that in mind, so that you don't overlap or overwrite, hero specials. Your priority should be on maximizing damage and building your damage, and using your specials. They should build from each other. Okay, so that's it. Just want to say that. Good luck.